encourage Kody to work any relationship out that he can with his kids. But I guess it's been a two-way street. Maddie hasn't been reaching out to her dad either.
The phone works two ways, but you know what didn't work two ways was when he decided to have those children, which gave him a larger level of responsibility in maintaining that communication. Sister Wives, First Impression Part 2. Oh, and did anyone else clock that? I thought they were all of y'all's kids. Oh. So you want your kids to be treated a certain way, but you're not willing to extend the same level of care. Oh, okay.
Here's your sign.
I hope you watched part 1, so you are already with us in Deluluville, but if you're not, we'll wait for you to get on the train and get here. Okay, we waited long enough. So, we're going into Maddie is no contact with her dad, which I think is such a good idea. And you know what? If Kody is looking for another wife currently, I know a certain fired mom that he might really not get along with, and that would be fun to watch. So, the phone works both ways. We got to do that. Kody feeling sorry for himself. We've got a bunch of this, and this. He comes in with this?
When Maddie and Caleb were living with us in Las Vegas, that was the best time of my life.
What?
We had the 4 homes together.
Yeah, you did.
Everything was going along smoothly.
It was.
Maddie and Caleb were around, and it was great having them around. And I loved Caleb. He was definitely like family.
And even though I claimed to be the happiest I was in my life, I forced my entire family to move somewhere they couldn't afford and destroyed us financially.
He was going to leave that out, so I figured I'd just add it in for him. You're welcome.
You know, things started to fall apart with the divorce, and then with my differences with Janelle and the differences over COVID, it just made all those relationships go sour.
Now, no matter what he's saying, you know what speaks volumes to me?
Maddie is the mama bear to an extreme. She has felt like until he can be consistent and show up and not be dramatic, that she feels like it's probably better if they don't know about him. And Maddie and Caleb don't really have much relationship with him because he doesn't call them.
Now, the snapping is not for the situation. That situation sucks. From personal experience, I've had to do that myself. However, you're doing what's right for your kids. And it speaks such volumes when no contact kids don't let their kids have contact with the grandparents either, which is not always the case. Because who knows better than what that person like Kody is, with children than his children? He goes on to blame Christine, then blames the wives, not his own failure to foster communication or to be there, or the fact that simply having 18 kids is irresponsible because you're never going to be able to be emotionally there for all of them the way that you should be. He just wanted babies. He didn't want kids or people or humans. So that's fine, whatever. And he hopes that the contempt can subside someday. The only way that's going to happen, you go to therapy, my dude, and I don't see that happening. Do they have therapists in the manosphere? I'm not sure. Just kidding, no they don't. So then we go into a bunch of filler for the episode. There's like a welcome home dinner for Isabel, and 2 of the sisters are pregnant. They're talking about how amazing it is that they're pregnant together because Christine and Janelle were pregnant together. Then they're talking about when McKelty gives birth, how Robyn and Christine are both going to be there and they just need to put their stuff aside, which I'm glad that they're going to do that. I hope that actually happens. Christine speaks on dating, and then Peyton says, and he's done this a couple times, he uses working at a gentleman's club for street cred, and honestly, until you truck up on that stage and clap your pleasers, I really don't get the vibe. They're not there as props or to make you feel cool. They're at work. Last season, he went on a whole diatribe about how if they tell him no, they don't want to go out with him, he just pressures them until they say yes, like, just not a vibe. Then Janelle goes over to Christine's house, and Janelle had made a comment that it seemed like maybe there was a little prying going on, and it did read that way, but I'm not sure if that's just editing or whatever. But she's a little bit country.
I've always wanted my own piece of land that I could have a garden, maybe a few animals, and just kind of live simply. And Kody hates everything about living on a farm and living on a ranch. And he always wanted to be the city guy with the fancy car and the great job. And like, that was always what he wanted. Kody grew up on a farm, and I think he was like, nope, had my fill of that, not interested.
So smart, man. If you know you and your partner aren't going the same place, it's not going to work out. You really know what you want. He really knows what he wants. And those things are not coming together, and you're not willing to compromise, man. Leaving's... Now, again, the video before this goes into a lot of what they're going to talk about in this next part. So let's just skipping right ahead to Kody complaining because Janelle has just left him in the dark. She won't tell him anything about their relationship. How could you do this to me, Janelle? Communicate.
I just think this is so funny. This is comical. Kody's sitting here complaining about Janelle, saying that there was no communication, nothing was clear. Dude! You did the same exact thing to me. Exactly. Karma's a bitch.
I usually try to be the bigger person, but watching someone get a taste of their own medicine and then they make that little face, Didn't like that, did you? You know, I'll never get tired of it. And even the way he still speaks about Meri. Now I'm gonna have to meet you at a short part 3 so we can talk about them dissolving the marriages and everything. I guess a lot did go on this episode, but anyway, I'll see you there.